Now, how things look in camera is very important because that is what your audience is going to be looking at the whole time. Now, one of the first things you'll learn as a photographer is something called the rule of thirds. Now, this is where you basically divide your screen into a grid with 9 squares. You then place the subject you're recording on an appropriate place on the grid. Now, generally, the best placements are somewhere along the middle square. Now, if you have background objects as part of the scenery, then it's a good idea to place them on the third while the subject is in the other third. Now, this adds a nice balance to the image. Now, it's often tempting for beginners to put the subject right bang in the middle of the frame, but this doesn't look as nice as using the thirds. So look through your camera at your scene and consider where is the best placement for your subject and any background objects. Now, sometimes very small changes in angle can make a big difference to how appealing your image looks. If you're using just a plain background, it's not so much of a problem to have the subject in the middle of your screen if they are looking directly at the camera as I am right now. If they are looking off to the side for any reason, such as if they are being interviewed, then still use the rule of thirds. Now, you may also want to use the rule of thirds or keep the subject to one side of the screen if you intend to add text or images to your scene in editing. Now, it's good to think ahead if you want to do this because it's much easier to record it with that in mind than correct it later in editing, unless you're using a green screen and then you'll be removing the background, or you're willing to crop into your image. Now, if you're unsure, then record your takes both ways, one in the center and one off to the side, and then use whichever one you like best when it comes to putting the final touches to your video in editing. Now, if you're adding camera movement, you'll want to apply the same principles as if you keep the camera still. So if the talent is walking left from the camera's point of view, then you will want to keep the talent on the right third so that they have room to walk into the frame. Now, if walking directly towards the camera and you're using a zoom lens, then you may want to place the subject on a third if there's something significant in the background that will balance out the frame. Or you could have them walk directly from the center if, again, they are talking directly to the camera. Now, using the rule of thirds principle for your video and for your photography as well will really enhance the appeal of your image to your audience. So it's really good practice to practice this as much as needed so that it becomes second nature. Now, there's a lot of material on this available to learn more, so see examples online and take advantage of that so that you can really understand this. Now, not applying this principle will make your video and images look more amateur no matter what other fancy things you do, so you really do want to do this. Now, please leave a comment below if you have any extra input when it comes to the rule of thirds, or if you have any questions. I will do my best to respond. And also, if you like this video and found it helpful, then please hit the like button below and share it with your friends. And I look forward to catching up with you next time.